Hi and welcome along to the Invincible podcast with my man Lee Judges. How are you doing, my son? We're all good. We're all
it's
good.
Been a lovely week, isn't it? It's been a lovely week.
It has been a beautiful week.
Beautiful.
A beautiful week. Beautiful week, of course. Last weekend, the North London derby, which we're going to talk a bit about. Last night, you know what I mean, in the Europa League, that was an enjoyable game.
Enjoyable, yeah.
Enjoyable game, Bodo Glimt, you know what I mean? So, and of course, we're going to be looking forward to the big game this weekend. Another huge test for Arsenal coming up against Liverpool. Liverpool visiting the Emirates Stadium, a big, big test for us. And I'm really, really looking forward to it. And you actually, it was also good because when we did the special, the AFTV PICK10 special last week, the Liverpool one, who won? Who came out on top? The North London derby one.
Yes.
Who came out on top?
Yeah. And why did you come out on top, like here?
Huh?
Why did you come out on top?
Because I've got better knowledge than you.
No, I don't.
That's why I come out on top.
You predicted Harry Kane would score, and I went again. I didn't go for that, like, and that's what cost me.
Yeah, well, you're stupid, isn't it?
No, I can't have him. I hate the man. I can't have him in anything like that. I mean, I'd rather be homeless than have him on the team, like, you know what I mean,
But you did win the PICK10 last week.
Which is the main one, yes. I didn't win it. I didn't get nowhere near some of the winners, but I got more results predicted than you, which is very, very important to me. You know what I mean? So I am actually 1-0 up.
1-0 up. Remember our thing that we're doing this season is that the person who wins the most at the end of each month is then able to then say to the other person that you got to take him to dinner. So if I ended up losing, I've got to take him out to dinner at a restaurant of his choice.
Oh, steak and chips.
So he's 1-0 up. There's 1-0 up. There's a chance for me to bring it back this week. Don't forget, play AFTV PICK10. All you got to do is download the app, AFTV Plus, and you can play. They've got 3 games going on this week as well. They've got the AFTV PICK10, where you can win £10,000. They've got Arsenal Liverpool special, where you can win £5,000, and they've also got a Saturday PICK10 as well, where you can win another £5,000, right? So you've got to be over 18 to enter. You've got to be based there in the UK to enter it as well, and also remember to be gamble aware. But it's a lot of fun. Also, last week there were 13 winners of the £10,000. They all won £471 each.
How many did they get?
I'm not sure how much each one of them got.
I think they got 8 results.
8 out of 10.
8 out of 10.
Hell.
How the hell are they getting 8 out of 10?
And remember we was giving away the iPhone. There's a guy, D Graphics UK. He won the iPhone.
Oh, did he?
Right, and there were 2
done.
winners of the FIFA 23 game, the brand new FIFA 23 game. We are Arsenal 95 and Ventil Hooligan. I love that name, Ventil Hooligan. They won the FIFA 23, so well done to them.
Congratulations.
Yeah, unfortunately, I must have come like 1,500. I was
well done, weren't you?
shocking. The only one I got right, of course, was the Arsenal.
Was that the only game? I think you got 2 in the end, didn't you?
Well, you're looking at it.
I was looking. But
Look how much he's looking at what
2 out of 10, ain't bad.
Right,
Ain't
listen.
bad to start.
Looking at it this week, let me just quickly, before we get stuck into the show, in my PICK10, right, just giving you a little look at some of that. I've gone for Chelsea to beat Wolves. Probably a Aubameyang will score that. Man City versus Southampton. I mean, that's the most obvious. If that lose, if Southampton win that will just ruin everybody's.
What that do?
Because surely no one's going to go for a Southampton win.
Nah.
Right? Newcastle to beat Brentford. Stoke to beat Sheffield United. Milan, Juventus. What did you go in that one?
I've gone for Milan. After what I see the other day, I wish I hadn't, like, you know.
I've gone for a draw in that.
Yeah.
Borussia Dortmund versus Bayern. Need to go for in that.
Bayern.
I've gone for Bayern as well. Brighton versus Tottenham.
Oh, go on then. Let's see what you gone for on that one.
What do you go for?
I have gone for a Brighton win. Come on, you seagulls. What have you gone for?
I've actually gone for a draw.
Oh, you're desperate.
No, listen, I hope I'm wrong. Right? And then in the Liverpool special, obviously I've gone for Arsenal to win.
Yep.
Yeah. Both teams to score.
No,
I went 4.
I've not.
No. You think we keep a clean sheet then?
Oh, I do.
Oh, that's interesting. Against Liverpool.
Yes. I'm loving watching the Arsenal at the moment.
Over 2.5 goals, I've gone for that as well. Arsenal to be winning in the first half. Over 5.5 corners for Arsenal, I've gone for yes. Arsenal to have over 2.5 cards, I've gone no. We haven't that many cards recently.
I think we had two in the North London.
Liverpool to have over 2.45 cards, I've gone yes. Liverpool to have over 4.5 corners, no. Mo Salah to score at any time, yes. I put there. Gabriel Jesus to score, yes.
I love edging your bets, don't you? Like, I come to the super. Harry Kane last week, now Mo this week. Unbelievable they are.
But listen, don't forget, as I said, enter yours, right? And there's a chance to win now. All you got to do is download AFTV Plus. There is a link in the description. Get involved right now. The North London Derby. Talk to me, man. How good was that? How good was that, Lee?
A fantastic day. From start to finish, the atmosphere in the ground was electric. Let's be honest. Bodo, was that their names like yesterday?
Bodo Glimt, yeah.
Bodo Glimt. Well, 3-0 down. I didn't see one empty seat. Not one empty seat.
Their fans stayed till the end.
They're great fans, but I see a sea of red seats, and I love it when I see that. I love it. They've all gone home. They was home for Strictly Come Dancing, they were in time for Strictly, a bit of Tony Adams on there, unbelievable, but what a great day, what a performance. I thought we played really well. I'm looking back on it, I'm not going to lie, I've watched it a few times, I'm not going to lie.
I've watched that about 10 times.
I've watched it, so everybody played well. There weren't no one underperforming in that game, which is fantastic. Yeah. Everybody played really, really well. Even Ramsdale didn't have a lot to do, but he had one save to do and he done it,
great save as well.
And listen, they're Spurs, I've got to say, they're deluding. They was in here the other day. Yeah, Lloris, he's got to be the goalkeeper, Oh, slippery hands, He couldn't happen to a better goalkeeper. He kicked the ball out more times, because he's got the best pass ratio in the league, he has, And he also lets one go through for old Gabby and tap in, And the biggest thing of all, which is the greatest thing of all, they give it large about Richarlison scoring for Brazil. Oh, he scores Brazil. Why? I'd rather have our number 9 scoring for the Arsenal against Spurs. Oh, Gabby, I love you. Bang, get in there 1-0. I thought he was superb. Martinelli, second half. Come on. Oh, he just teased them and all that, And listen, they're very quiet, aren't they? They've gone back.
You know what? The funny thing is, and I said it earlier on in the week. I did a couple of shows, and I was talking about how it was so the irony of this. The next day, I got invited to American football.
Yeah.
The NFL that was taking place at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium, which I said to myself, I'm not going if we lose. No chance. But because we won, I thought,
well.
Let me put my
get your jacket on. Get your jacket. Where's my coat?
Where's my coat? Let's go down there.
Lovely.
Bounce down White Hart Lane into the ground, right? Get into the box. Thank you very much to those guys, the sponsors that invite me into their box. It was a great spectacle watching the NFL. But what was even better was to be sat in the box next to Harry Kane, right? When I say next to, I wasn't sat next to him, but he was in the box next to me. So I'm looking over at this guy in the box. To be fair, he's with his family and everything, so I'm not going to disturb him.
No.
But I was so tempted to say, Harry, what's the score, mate? What's the score, son? And then the other thing that was great about it is all these salty Tottenham fans. Oh, if it hadn't been for the red card.
They weren't saying that last year.
Emerson got sent. They weren't saying that last year.
No, I never mentioned it once, did they?
They didn't mention it once. But all of a sudden now, if it hadn't been for the ref ruined the game. I go, what do you mean he ruined the game? No, Emerson ruined it for you lot. And it weren't because of the red card. He ruined it from the start. He's crap. Yeah. Right? And I'm not being funny. Their manager has to take a lot of the blame as well. They big this guy up like he's the Messiah.
Yeah.
Right? There's only one Messiah, and that's Jesus. Right? But they big this guy up like he's the Messiah. Don't get me wrong. He's a great manager. I know he's world class. He's been world class. But at the moment, what he's showing with his dead football. I mean, they drew during the week as well to Frankfurt, a team that they should be beating.
Fell asleep again.
Again, I'm not convinced with what I'm seeing at Tottenham.
Nah.
I'm not convinced. You know what I mean? Richarlison and Son spent more time in our half than they did in their own half.
Defending,
They were defending for all the game. You know, if that's what they want to watch week in, week out, defensive football, you know. But listen, I think there was no doubt that Arsenal deserved to win that game. Mikel Arteta got his tactics right. We came out in this. I thought the first half, to be fair, was fairly even, right? Would you say?
Yeah, I was saying
because they were dangerous on the counter.
They were dangerous on the counter attack, and
they were dangerous on the counter.
That's their game, you know what I mean. So they give up possession, you know what I mean. So and we had most of the possession, but that doesn't mean to say you're a better team when that's happening. So I'll go
evenish first half, which I think we edged. But the second half, I think there's no doubt we just blew them away. We came out, we were just at it from the whistle blew till it ended, and we were brilliant. And I remember speaking to Rob Holding and Matt Turner.
Oh yeah, had a good game yesterday, Matty boy.
He did. You know what I mean? Since they met me, and
Rob
spoke
scored
to me,
and Matty.
Rob Holding scored, and Matt Turner had a clean sheet. You know what I mean? Could it be that after speaking to me, all of a sudden
they was inspired, weren't they? They must have been inspired.
Yeah, but no, listen, they were great guys. They really were, man. And you know what was really, really, really nice, right? Was first of all in talking to them, because Rob Holding in particular was telling me about, listen, he goes, Robbie, you want to see the buzz on the training ground, man. You know what I mean? We're all loving playing at the moment. We're all in the same direction. He goes, honestly, we just can't wait until the next game. That's how we're playing at the moment, right? The confidence is sky high. And then he also went on, because I was saying to him, I'm hoping that you're feeling the love from the fans, you know what I mean? Because I go, the fans are loving what you guys are doing, because we can see you guys fighting. It's not even just the results. We can see you guys fighting for the badge. Yeah. We can see you fighting for it week in, week out. And he's going, no. He goes, Robbie, we feel it, man. We feel the vibe of the fans. We every time we step out onto that pitch, and you can see it. And what I liked about the game against Bodo Glimt is that in the Europa League, is that obviously a lot of players came in who haven't been playing regularly,
and done well,
but they were just the same. You know what I mean? They were at it as well. You can see that they're all desperate, fighting to try and get a place in the first team. You think about that game against Bodo Glimt, all the players that came in, that are sort of the fringe players, they kind of stepped up, didn't they?
Yeah.
Rob Holding, goal.
Yeah.
Matt Turner, clean sheet. Eddie Nketiah,
goal,
and also played really, really well on the day.
I thought he was brilliant.
Yeah, so these guys all of a sudden, they're saying to the manager, they're going, we're still here.
You still, 100%.
If you need us, we're right here. We're right here, and we're ready. You know what I mean? So, honestly, there's so much to be pleased about and encouraged about at the moment when you're watching Arsenal. And fans of other clubs are starting to take notice. They're starting to, like there was a Tottenham fan in that box who said to me, he goes, I'm very worried about Arsenal, he said.
Yeah.
Because I'm worried. He goes, I'm genuinely worried that you lot could do something special this year. Because he goes, I ain't going to lie. He goes, you blew us away. And he goes, nobody's really took it to us like that this year. And he goes, what you're doing week in, week out. He goes, as a Tottenham fan, I'm very worried. And if Tottenham fans are worried about us, that's always a great sign.
Yeah, exactly right. And they are. You know what I mean? I was speaking to my brother after the game, and he actually said, that, well,
he spoke to you. He actually spoke to you.
Yeah, it took him a couple of days, but he did, and he actually was full of praise with Arsenal. He said, deserved to beat us. Second half just tore us apart, and he was saying, that Jesus, he goes, wow. He goes, I wish we'd have got him instead of Richarlison. That's what people are going to be saying now, So he was brilliant, by the way. The difference between the two teams for me. Do you know what? And it's great when fans are saying that, and it is really great. But what I'm seeing yesterday is when you go there yesterday, and we was there 3-0 up. I think it might have been 2-0 up or whatever. I can't remember, But when that Jesus come on, the game's won. He's still put in a shift like it was like a Premier League game, and that's the standards that it is now. You know, so if you was a player there, or even a young player watching Arsenal, you think, look at him, he's come on, we've won the game, he could just come on and have a stroll up. He doesn't. He justified him being put on yesterday, I think.
Yeah.
Like, do you know what I mean?
That bit of
that bit of skill
for the assist, which by the way, is not like a one-off. We've seen him do that several times. Him and Martinelli have done that this where they drive to that line and then they just use a little bit of skill in and out. You know, where basically if you're a defender, you've got a choice. I've got to get my tackles spot on, or I could foul him, he could give away a penalty, or like yesterday where they just couldn't get nowhere near him. I mean, he just managed to cut it back and he got a great assist for Fabio Vieira's goal. Who, by the way, that's another player, I forgot even to mention him, who again, against Bodo Glimt was like...
I thought he was brilliant.
Mikel, I'm here.
I watched it again last night when I got in, like just the highlights. Yeah. And, for the Rob Holding goal was a fantastic goal, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Like the header was brilliant, but the cross...
cross.
But he had to bring it down. Yeah. You know, and I was saying before, because that's one of we don't really watch it together, do we? We was fortunate enough to watch the game together yesterday. And I said before, you hadn't seen him at Brighton when I thought at Brentford. I said, watch him, he's got a fantastic first touch. And his first, he never let me down. He's just figuring it about. I thought he was brilliant. Like, and I'd see him, he's pushing Odegaard because
he's pushing Odegaard, man.
Because he's got goals in him as well.
Yeah, he's got goals in him and his vision, his passing. He's really, really good.
Really good. I'm really impressed with him, So he looks a real fine. And I think he's one of those players that can play in a few positions as well. But, he got a kick in the first 10 minutes and he got up from that and still played really, really well. Very, very impressed. I'll tell you who else I was impressed with yesterday, and I'm pleased for. There's Kieran Tierney. I thought he had a brilliant game.
Great game. He funded that shot across.
Yeah, when it hit the post. Yeah. So he got an assist for the goal. But
he's looking fit now, and he's looking fit and strong.
He's looking fit and strong, and I think it was a reminder that, I'm a good player. Don't forget that I've been a really good player. So I thought that was a really good thing for him as well. And Tommy Asu played well as well.
Tommy Asu played really well. And again, just going back to what Rob Holding said to me was the togetherness of the squad.
Yeah. You can see
that. You can see it. You don't get the impression. If you contrast that to Man United's game, I know they lost against City. But, the way they kept cutting to the bench and you saw Ronaldo's, and then the manager having to say, I didn't bring him on out of respect for his career and things like that. You look at United, they don't look a team that's, I'm just using them.
They're not on the same page.
Using them as an example. They don't look completely together, do they?
Yeah, I see what you're saying.
Whereas I look at Arsenal and you just look at a team together. You look at City together. You can see it. It's obvious. You know what I mean? There's no, and when I look at Arsenal, I don't look at there's egos running wild in that team.
No,
it looks to me like even Jesus is as down to earth as the other players. He's not looking at it and thinking, "Well, I'm Billy."
No, he does.
You know what I mean?
Fantastic recruitment from Edu and Arteta from that point of view. Look, listen, we know what it's like to be a little bit fractured in the dressing room, and you can see it now because we've seen it over the last few years, Robert. We've had it. We've had it. You know what I mean? And that's why you get those inconsistencies at times, and you see what Man United were doing. Yesterday, all over the place. I know they won in the end, but they won that game yesterday because they've got quality players in areas, like we all have. But when it comes down week in, week out, those little things will show.
Yeah.
And at the moment, like you can see with Arsenal, there's a great, atmosphere. Like the club have really honed in on it as well with the fan situation. They're playing the songs after the games of the players that sing. One of the highlights yesterday for me was watching Saliba warm up yesterday because I said they're gonna all sing that song in a minute, and he was warming up and they started singing it, and they're all bantering him like a little bit of a laugh with him, weren't they? Like, and he's laughing and smiling at it, like what a great thing, even though you're on the bench, to have the whole stadium singing that song, know what I mean? So fantastic atmosphere. Feel good factor.
Feel good factor is good. And let me just add in one other thing, right, which is why I am really thinking that Arsenal playing so well. Julian pointed it out yesterday because, like you said, it's me, you, Julian, we all sat together. I know he doesn't always make great points.
Well, no. Like we see him. Like, what was he like at half time, by the way? Oh, yeah. Unbelievable.
But Julian made a great point. There was one point in the game yesterday. I think was it Eddie and Ketcher? One of them players, they lost the ball and literally tracked back the whole pitch and won the ball back. Was it Eddie?
Yeah. Who was that? Yeah, because we turned around and we said it, didn't we? Like, could you imagine Ozil doing that?
And that's what Julian said. Yeah. Julian said, would Mesut Ozil,
who was
as great as a player as he was, right? Would he?
It was Marquinhos that done it, wasn't it?
As Marquinhos, he run it. He goes, would Mesut Ozil have done that, tracking back and won the ball back? He wouldn't have done, would he? He goes, he wouldn't. He goes, he's as great a player as he was. He didn't do that sort of stuff. He would not track back and win the ball.
No.
But we've got players now if you look at that front three, even like, the regular front three of Jesus, Saka, Martinelli, they will track the whole thing back to win the ball back. Everybody helps out everybody. Xhaka gets back and helps out. Fabio Vieira I saw yesterday getting back and helping out. There's no player that's saying, well, no, that's beneath me. I'm not running back. They're all running. They're all working so hard off the ball. If you watch the game sometimes on TV, you don't see it as much.
No.
You really don't see it. That's why if you ever get a chance to go to a game of football, especially if you're an Arsenal fan and you get a chance, I know there's fans be watching this from all around the world who won't get the chance to, unfortunately, sometimes to go and watch Arsenal. But honestly, if you can go to a game and watch it sometimes, that's what you don't see. The TV cameras don't always capture that.
Yeah.
But you could see it last night. You could see it against Tottenham. Players working their absolute socks off to get back, to help out, to double up. If you're going to do anything in this league, you have to do that every game, week in, week out. And that's what we're doing at the moment.
Yeah. And
the ugly stuff.
The dirty work. You know what I mean? You have to do that. Good teams do the dirty work without complaining. And I think that's a great point about Marquinhos as well, like, because, he's watching top players like Martinelli, Saka, Jesus running back and sprinting back, like. So as a young kid, he's thinking, well, if they're doing it, I've got to do it as well, like. So they're being influenced. These young kids are being influenced. They're not looking at someone going, oh, look, he ain't running back, so when I get on there, I don't have to do that. They're all doing it. Eddie's work rate, by the way, yesterday was unbelievable. Unbelievable. Working really, really hard. Knocking players off. Everything about Arsenal at the moment. It's a pleasure to go over here at the moment. It is a pleasure. So it's a different team. We're watching a different team. And like, if things were to go wrong on Sunday, we'd be disappointed. But that they're on the right path. They're not, so you'd forgive them. Even when we lost to Man United, it's angry that we lost, but you think, do you know what? I can forgive you. And they've responded fantastically well after that. And it's a real excitement. And you can see I turned another thing yesterday. You could see the disappointment when the players are coming off. But as soon as that initial disappointment's off, clapping the fans, coming back. There's no throwing off pads. There's no throwing off boots. You know what I mean? They're all in it together. And it's bloody good to see, Robbie. It is really. It's been a long time coming.
It's been a long road, man. It's been a long time coming, but I really do think that finally we've got something going.
Yeah, something special.
Listen, where it takes us, who knows? But if we keep winning, and this weekend is another big test up against Liverpool. Now, I heard some people dissing Liverpool a bit. I'd caution on that heavily. I mean,
too many good players.
They've got too many good players. Even last week, they were losing 2-0 to Brighton.
Yeah.
They come back. They're winning 3-2, all right. They end up being 3-3. People talking like that game was a loss. They didn't lose the game, right? But that just shows the resilience that they have. And they've got a great record against us. I was looking at some stats around it. Here's one for you, right? Arsenal have won one of their last 14 Premier League games against Liverpool. Drawn 4, lost 9. A 2-1 win back in July 2020. That's the last time we beat them. They've lost their last 4 in a row. However, this will cheer you up a little bit. We've never lost 5 league games in a row to Liverpool. So hopefully we'll break that chain. But look at that. That's a horrendous record, isn't it, we've got against Liverpool. We've only won one of our last 14 games against Liverpool in the Premier League. Shocking. It's actually a shocking stat. So, it's not like, like last week, obviously when we're playing Tottenham, we got an outstanding record against them at home, even when we're not playing well. This Liverpool team, especially under Klopp, has been a hard nut to crack for us. We just didn't beat them.
We didn't beat them twice at home last season. They'd done the job on us quite comfortably in both. If I'll be honest, I thought we was fantastic in the League Cup first leg up there to get a 0-0, but they comfortably beat us at the Emirates, comfortably beat us in the league as well. So this is a real, it's a test for us. This is a statement win for me, because if we get it, because it will be on the back of the Spurs game. It will put us 14 points clear of Liverpool. Now, at the beginning of the season, you would have turned around and said, top 4, guaranteed, Man City, Liverpool, then it's out of the others. Yeah. But now, if we were to beat them like that, they're in the mix. But the worrying thing for me is, their season is going to kick off at some stage because they've got so many good players. They beat us, they've got Man City next week, they beat them, they're back in the running and everything you know what I mean? So the important thing is when they're down, keep them down. They've done it to us on many occasions when we've been like a little bit out of form and whatever, and gone up there, and they've spanked us. For the first time in a very, very long while, the roles have reversed a little bit. They're lacking a little bit of confidence. So get in there and give the old Scousers a good old idea.
Yeah, this again was another really, really interesting stat for me, and has been a bit sort of explaining Liverpool a lot this season. Liverpool have conceded the first goal in 9 of their last 11 Premier League games. But I've only gone on to lose one of those, which was the one against Manchester United in August, right?
Yeah.
But that shows me that Arsenal need to do what they've been doing all season, which is get off to a fast start. Because Liverpool are conceding goals early in games, which is something they don't normally do. But they're conceding the first goal on many, many occasions. Now, I know they kept a clean sheet the other night against Rangers. I have to admit, I didn't think Rangers were very good at all. They were pretty poor. But last week, again, they conceded 2 goals. They managed to pull it back. Yeah. But that was at Anfield. They can be got at that defence. Now, if you look at their defence this season, Trent Alexander-Arnold, we all know, going forward, one of the best in the world. Defending, though, he can be got at. I mean, I remember the game against Fulham. He was dreadful in that game.
He got caught,
and there's been a few games where he's been really poor. I look at that and say to myself, Martinelli, you've got to exploit that weakness. You've got to get in behind and really pressure him down that side. And then even down the other side, the rumour is it might be Robertson could be out. So it might be Shimikas, which, don't get me wrong, he's still a very good player. But I don't think he's been having a great season, speaking to Liverpool fans. So again, that's another area that Arsenal can exploit. Down that flank as well, where we've got Saka. These 2 guys have been playing brilliantly.
Yeah.
So, and even down the middle, Van Dijk, who's over the years, is how we talk about Haaland as a striker, is how we normally talk about Van Dijk as a defender. But even he this year has not been the invincible guy that we've known over the years where nobody gets past him. It's going to be interesting to see what Jesus does.
I'm looking forward to it, because I think for the first time in a while that I think Van Dijk. I'm a big fan of Van Dijk, by the way. I think he's a great player. Not quite the same player since the injury, but still a good player. He gets into his hotel bed before the game, puts his pajamas on and has a good night's sleep. You know what I mean? But I'll imagine then he goes to bed on Saturday. He's going to be thinking, I'm not in the greatest of form, not playing that well, and I've got this beast of a player who's got the tricks to trick me and all that. Now I've watched Jesus every time this season, jinkle and turn centre halves, getting them all the wrong way. Dyer was, you know what I mean. I think he's still spinning when the time he got to Frankfurt. You know what I mean, like, but. He's got that capability to do that little jink and go past him, like, you know. And now that was something that wouldn't happen a lot to Van Dijk. It'd be really interesting to see what happens there, like, you know. So
yeah,
I'm really looking forward to it. But I think defensively, you're right. They can be got at.
Then again, midfield, which has normally been an area of absolute strength for Liverpool with Fabinho and Thiago and Henderson. Again, that's been a bit of a... I know they've had injuries.
Yeah.
And they've got players coming back. But those players were back last week against Brighton, right? Now, again, I think that's an area that we can get at them. Yeah. Thomas Partey, Xhaka, Odegaard, Vieira if he comes on. The midfield of Arsenal has been playing very, very well. If you know, Partey should be fit. He didn't come on last night. He was there as well, which is always encouraging. He was there named as a sub.
Yeah.
So that means he's fit. Didn't come on, rested up. I mean, again, the midfield, I think Arsenal need to look to dominate that midfield. Fabinho, who I've always rated as like probably one of the best defensive midfielders in European football, so underrated. He's been having a bit of a poor season for Liverpool as well.
All of them have dropped, haven't they, really, like, you know. But I think with Jordan Henderson, it's just maybe the injuries are creeping up on him a little bit. I still think he's a good player. Yep. And that's what we've got to do, stretch them, make them work hard and physically make it hard for them, and that they might break down, like, you know. Thiago, I think, is a quality player, but he's always got that. He must, when your hamstrings continually keep going, it must be in your mind to think like, I better not just do that extra stretch, do that just in case it goes again. So physically make it hard for him, like, so that he has to do that, like, you know. So
the weird thing about them this season, watching Liverpool, is that normally they're that team that the way they press, the Gurgen press, the famous Gurgen press, they outrun everybody. They don't look. They haven't been doing that in midfield this season. They've been getting pressed. It's been weird to watch because normally they're the team that always does that. And I really do think that, you know, those are two areas that Arsenal can really exploit. I'm looking at another stat here. Liverpool are yet to win away from home in the Premier League this season.
Fortunate against Everton.
Yep, drawing twice and losing once in their games. Not since the 2010-11 season under Roy Hodgson have the Reds failed to win any of their first 4 away league games in a single campaign. So, you know, these are little areas and little things that Arsenal can hold on to. But now here comes the but. Up front, they've still got Salah.
Yeah.
Who always does well against us. Firmino, who's been playing well this season, always does well against us. Jota, he's back fit.
Yeah.
You know, here's another stat. Liverpool's Diogo Jota has 6 goals in 8 Premier League appearances against Arsenal.
He played in, wasn't he?
Right, including 5 in 4 for the Reds. He's averaging a goal every 67 minutes against Arsenal.
Yeah.
I mean,
he plays.
You know, best ratio of any player in the Premier League history against Arsenal. Jota always scores against us. Salah's got a good record against us. Firmino's got a good record, and they've got Darwin Núñez as well. Up front, they're still scoring because even last week they scored. I think people are forgetting they scored 3 goals.
Yeah.
You know, so the threat really
is their attacking.
Their attack is a threat. Yeah. It's a serious threat.
And he's got to solve that there. He's got, you know, I think Diaz will play one side, Mo Salah on the other, and he's got the choice then of Jota, Núñez, or Firmino that plays there. Like
Firmino as well. Firmino's got 5 goals in 6 Premier League games this season.
Yeah, he's been decent.
He's been playing really, really well.
So he's got a couple of little headaches there, like, you know.
Do you worry?
Well, when you've got players
worry
up front,
about you know.
Listen, I do worry. Of course you do, like, but I know if we play really, really well, I think we've got too much for them at this moment in time. Now, I've never said that about Liverpool for many years. You know what I mean? I'll be honest. You know, it's been on the other foot, isn't it? Like, you know, can we keep with them? Can we do that? Now, all of a sudden, I think that we will give it a go tomorrow. Sunday. I think we'll push them. We've got to be ruthless, Robbie. Take our chances. If we do, I think that we'll come on top. Listen, I mean, really honest, if Liverpool beat us, I wouldn't be like, oh, that's a shock, because they've got good players, you know what I mean? Like, this team can beat anybody on their day, you know what I mean? So we've got to be really fearful of that or wary of it. But if we defend properly, you know, this is a team, by the way, it hasn't come up against this back four. For our defence is a lot solider. You know, there was a time, I know we've got a bit vulnerable against Spurs at the time, but there was a time when Spurs put it on us and we held firm. Do you remember, like, a few years ago, we was 1-0 up against Spurs and within 5 minutes we're 2-1 down? It's happened a lot against teams. It doesn't happen now, like, you know what I mean? We can ride the storm. So I think it'd be a really, really good game. It'd be an interesting one because Liverpool can't afford to lose. They can't afford to lose. If they want to, you know, title aspirations, you know, you can't give Man City a start anything, but they've got the opportunity now.
Some Liverpool fans saying that they've already written off any title aspirations this season. You know, I mean, looking at the table, obviously Arsenal top at the moment on 21 points, and you're right. You know, I mean, right back down in 9th place right now, at Liverpool on 10 points. You know, 11 points behind. If we were to beat them, 14 points. I mean, even this early in the season,
it's going to be
that's a big margin, of course, and you know, then they're 10 back from
City. 4 games.
Yeah.
4 games that they've got to win and 4 games that we've got to slip up in.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, their game in end, by the way, is Chelsea away. That was the game that they missed, so
yeah,
they're going to have to go there. You know, so
it's a massive game for us, isn't it?
Massive game, you know what I mean? I think it's in the context of everything, it's a massive game for us because this puts us in a, forget about the title chase and everything like that. Let's just concentrate on the top 4. This is an opportunity to smash another one after Tottenham. So that's 2 of them now, Tottenham and Liverpool at home. Getting points on the ball would be massive, like, you know. And for me, this is another big one because, you know, we've picked up 3 points at Palace. We've picked 3 points up against Brentford. And if we was to beat Liverpool, that's another 9. That's 9 points improved on last season already.
Yeah.
So I think it's a massive, massive game.
I actually think this game is a bigger test for Arsenal than the North London.
Oh, without a doubt, yeah.
And the reason why I say that is it's not that I think at this moment in time Tottenham are a better team than them. I'd say at this moment, this season, Tottenham have been a better team than them. They're harder to beat.
Points are on the.
They don't lose many games. I mean, Tottenham, you know me. Until they remember when we beat them last week, that was their first defeat of the season, right? So in this moment in time, they're a better team. I'm not saying they've got better individuals, but at this moment in time. But if you look at our record over the years against Tottenham at home, it's been outstanding.
It gives you confidence, yeah.
So you can go into that game with confidence. It's a local derby, and I feel this one, with our poor record that we've had against Liverpool, makes it a big test.
Yeah.
Because if we win this, you start to look on it and start to say to yourself, well, let's have a load of confidence.
Yeah.
Let's have a load of confidence. And I'm looking, I think I said this last week, that I'm breaking down the season into blocks. And this is the second, we had the first block, which led up to the international break, which we were outstanding in. We've got the second block now, which leads up to the World Cup.
Yep.
Then, of course, we don't return back until we play on
Ham,
Boxing Day at West Ham. So the games we have is this game against Liverpool. We then go, I'm the Premier League games, we then go away to Leeds, winnable game. Away to Southampton, winnable game. Nottingham Forest at home, winnable game. Chelsea away, difficult game, very difficult game, but we did win there last year, but a difficult game. And Brighton at home, who did beat us last year.
That's a cup game.
Sorry, take that one out. Sorry, forget that is a cup game. Wolves away, which is our last. And remember, Wolves have not really been on anything. They've been poor, but Wolves is always
a tough place.
Always a tough place, but winnable, isn't it? It's not like you're looking at it and thinking it's not City away, is it? It's not the Etihad. So I look on that and I think if we could get that win against Liverpool,
sets us up.
We could conceivably go on a brilliant run.
Yeah.
Now, what if we got to the 12th of November, which is then the break for the World Cup, and we're still in and around that? I mean, is there a real chance to go and have a go at the league?
Yeah. Well, January would be important with the signings, a couple more signs. But yeah, this is a real key thing now. As I say, if we can get that result against Liverpool, play Leeds next. If we could get a result against Leeds, Liverpool and City are playing against each other. So if you all of a sudden you could be still top of the league going into Chelsea away at a certain stage of the season.
What should be, if you were the manager of Arsenal right now, what would be your mentality right now? Would your mentality be, lads, we're going for the top 4, or lads, we're in a title race?
I'd play down the title race if I was manager at the moment.
Yeah, I know you play it down publicly.
Yeah,
but in the change room, when you're talking to the players, are you saying, guys, let's keep it realistic? Our aim is the top 4 this year, or do you say, lads, we're in a title race? I know we're not going to say it out loud. I don't want no one to say it out loud. I'm not going to say it in any press conferences. I'm going to play it down. But within this room, what would your mentality be?
That would be it. You know what I mean? And why not? You know what I mean? Like everybody at this moment in time, and it's going, City's here to lose. City. Yeah, well, Norway ain't in the World Cup, are they? Why are they not in the World Cup if they've got this goal machine? So something's not quite right. Stop the supply there. You never know, you know what I mean? So, listen, anything can happen. You know what I mean? Haaland can get injured, De Bruyne can get injured, and then all of a sudden, Man City are not as good as what they are. So you just got to keep going. If it was me, I'd be saying we try and win every game, and I think that's what they're trying to do. We're trying to win every game. We're keep it in house, but let's see where it takes us. I don't think that we're going looking at games and all that. If I was a manager and I'm Mikel, I'm just looking at Liverpool, and then we're focused on the next game, and we're focused on the next game. You know what I mean? Taking time again. As fans, and if they lose and whatever, that's what fans do. But keep those players focused for one game at a time. They are playing well. There are going to be a time when we're not going to be playing well. That's when we've got to dig in and all that, But at this moment in time, while you're playing well, just keep getting the points on the ball, racking them up. And before you know it, you could be like 10 points clear of 4th. And then your focus will change, won't it? Because you're thinking, right, well, 4th is looking really positive. Can we kick on? It's going to be difficult with if Man City weren't in there, take them out of the league. You know what I mean? Let's hope they get expelled or something like that for irregularities of money. But you'd be saying, yeah, we're in a title race, aren't we? We'd be saying that now, wouldn't you? But because it's Man City, everybody's going, no, they're going to win it.
I mean, if it was Liverpool, if roles were reversed right now and Liverpool were in our position, the Liverpool fans are talking about winning the league.
Of course they are.
So, I don't think, I keep saying I don't think we're going to win the league because I'm being realistic about it. I just think that it's such a long season. But I hope the mentality is, though, not the same as mine, that, within the manager, that we can win the league. I hope they're making plans as well for January that says, you know what, let's get this guy and that guy and that guy, because games step up, it becomes more intense. The Europa League becomes more intense. There's more games, FA Cup, all that. But let's have a real go at it. I mean...
listen, I watched Man City the other day against Man United, and you cannot help but be excited with what they've got. Haaland, and they've got
so many options.
They've got so many options, Grealish and all that. But a few of them are coming into their 30s. Mahrez and De Bruyne. Arsenal got some exciting players as well. I don't care what anybody says, you know what I mean? I'm excited watching Martinelli. I'm excited watching Jesus. I'm excited about Saka, Odegaard, Vieira. We've got some exciting players as well, And at the end of it, we've got some decent defenders backing up that talent now, So I'm going to be honest. I'm disappointed that the game against Man City is off in a couple of weeks.
So am I, Lee. I'm disappointed because I just feel that.
Good time to take them. Yeah,
you know what? It was the test. It's not even like I don't think there's any good time to play him, right? Because they're so good. And actually, there was one of my mates was saying to me the other day, you know what? I'm glad it's off because he goes, Haaland's on fire. We could maybe catch them.
He might be injured or suspended
next year,
or
and he could be off form or whatever, injured, whatever. And I said to him, I go, no, that's the other thing. We're all focusing on Haaland. They've got so many options, man. You remember Foden scored a hat-trick in that game as well. You know what I mean? They've just got goals everywhere. They've got options everywhere. I think it would have been a real test to see where we were. But I remember going back to that game that we played them at home last season. Yeah. We played great in that game, remember? And we got better players now. Yeah. So I really wanted to see where we were playing them. But listen, the game is off. But honestly, at the moment, I'm loving what we're doing. But I really do hope that we're planning for a push. Because we're in a good position right now. Let's get your prediction for the game. I mean, you would have done it on Pick10.
Yeah, I have done.
Don't forget, go to AFTV Pick10 and you can make your selections. But aside of the other things that you did, what's your prediction for the game?
I've gone Arsenal 2, Liverpool 0.
0?
Yeah.
Clean sheet?
Yeah, we haven't had a clean sheet in the league. We had the first clean sheet at home on Thursday, funny enough. And I keep banging on about it. We need to get a clean sheet at home. It's a statement. You've got to have clean sheets at home. You know what I mean? Not one at home. It's got to change. 2-0 to the Arsenal.
2-0.
Yeah. Go on. Who are you going for then? What are you going for then? I'm
going for an Arsenal win as well.
Yeah, good.
But I'm going 2-1. I don't think we'll keep a clean sheet. It just got too many. It's just all over that front line. That's what worries me. We're going to have to defend really well because, and it's going to be an interesting game because we know it's not going to be Tottenham. They ain't coming to sit. They come to play. It's just Liverpool. Liverpool come. They've got one way of playing, and that is coming to attack Arsenal. And they're coming to be on the front foot. We're going to have to be really at it. This is a huge test for Arsenal.
Yeah.
But I think we can come through it. I think we're on better form than them at the moment. I think Liverpool's still finding their way this season, and I think we've got to stick it on them.
Yeah, so that's how I see it. Yep. I do see it like that, yep.
2-1, I'm going. But this is it. This is a big test for Arsenal. Listen, Lee.
Been a good week.
I can't wait. It's been a good week. Let's hope the goodness can continue.
Yeah, finish it off.
Yeah.
Finish off a nice 7 days, isn't it?
And hopefully I can win AFTV Pick10 this week as well because I don't want to be taking him out tomorrow. No, dinner very soon. Don't forget you can play by clicking the link in the description. Download AFTV Plus from the App Store to play AFTV Pick10. You must be 18 or over to enter. You've got to be based here in the UK. And as I said, there's a prize pool this weekend of 20,000 across the 3 different games. I mean, we've got a Liverpool and Arsenal special worth $5,000, Pick10 $10,000, and a Saturday one they're doing as well. A Sunday one that's worth $5,000 as well. Get involved. Click the link in the description right now. And listen, Arsenal versus Liverpool, huge game, huge test. But we're both feeling confident, right?
Yeah, we're looking forward to it. You know what I mean? And there's no free hits for this one, neither, just by the way, against Liverpool. You know what I mean? This is, I'm looking forward to it. And I can, basically, I'm not really been looking forward to those sort of games because you know what's going to happen. Yeah. We've got a chance of beating them this time. I don't think we're away at Anfield, we've had a chance of beating them and probably 70-30 when they're at the Emirates. I think it's 60-40 in our favour now, and that's fantastic. And I'm looking forward to it. Come on, you Gunners.
Come on, you Gunners. We'll see you next week. And don't forget to subscribe here to AFTV. Vote for us as well in the FBA Awards. The link is in the description for that as well. And we'll be back next week, hopefully talking about a win over Liverpool. The Invincible podcast. Myself, Robbie, and Lee Judges come together once a week to discuss all things Arsenal. Straight talking, considered discussion, brought to you by the fans of the only club in Football League history to go invincible.